Here we go. Let's get things started with your national days of the week. Starting with Monday, March the 30th. It's National Take a Walk in a Park Day. Throughout the times, we go through these days that float, like the third Thursday in November is always going to be Thanksgiving, right? The days of, I don't know which holidays float, but there are a couple that float. I think Easter is always the first Sunday in April. I don't know how that works sometimes. I don't agree with floating holidays too much because they can make things confusing. But I think National Take a Walk in the Park Day should probably be a floater. That shouldn't occur on a Monday, you know? Because it's a very, very privileged few that can take time on a Monday to go walk in a park. But a large percentage of us have this thing called the weekend, and we would take the weekend. And even those people who have rotating days off, they don't normally take Monday, they take Friday. Monday's a bad day. Make it a Saturday. Like Saturday, National Take a Walk in the Park Day, Adam Ricci Park, big walk thing event with food trucks and beer. Now, that's fun. But on a Monday, take a walk in a park day, that doesn't feel fun at all. Not fun at all. But they didn't say the days had to be fun. It's Monday, March 30th. National Take a Walk in a Park Day. Moving on. Tuesday, March 31st is National Tater Day. I recently made a batch of mashed potatoes that were sufficient. My partner on the Lunds B show is a chef. I ran my process through her. She agreed with everything that I did, but my spouse is not a chef, even though she also does know how to cook. Only certain people get the title. She knows how. She doesn't get the hat. And she challenged my mashed potatoes because they did not have milk in them. The chef didn't catch that missing step when I was making taters. Mash of the mash variety. You need some liquid in there. I thought fresh mashed potatoes with a rice thingy. I did all of the work, and I put butter in, and I put sour cream in, and I thought that was it. A little salt, a little pepper. It was really good. It was good. It was sufficient, but it needed a little extra savory, a little cream of some variety. Even water would have helped it. I know that because I was forced to eat the remaining taters of the mash variety for the rest of the week. And every time I heated them, I added water to them, and they came out silky smooth and delicious. What is your favorite way of eating the taters? I've already chosen a question for the question of the week for next week. But the question of the week is going to be that question. What's your favorite way to consume the earthy gourd known as a potato? Think about that and get your answer ready. On Tuesday, March 31st, National Tater Day. They're the ones calling it tater. I didn't make that up. It's written that way, Tater Day. Wednesday, April the 1st. Ye Old Fools of April Day is also National Fun Day. I think any days on the National Days of the Week calendar that are redundant should be removed. Because National Fun Day is not necessary on National April 1st Day or April Fool's Day. Yes, it should be fun in the fooling nature. Now, of course, I'm sure there's been April Fool's jokes that went way too far. And there are many other April Fool's Day jokes that fell flat and did not make anyone a fool. If you have any idea where that comes from, you could do a little history and you could find out that we don't even know for certain where April Fool's Day comes from. But the best case scenario was when, and only because of Zach Jack am I thinking about calendars as much as I'm thinking about calendars these days. But when they switched over from the Gregorian to the Julian, or the Julian to the Gregorian, when they made that switch where the beginning of the year was the last part of March, or April the 1st, and moved it to January 1st, well, those people who still celebrated the new year on April the 1st were called April Fools. And back then, not a fun day. So maybe it isn't redundant. Maybe they did need to add it to the schedule, because April Fool's Day should be also National Fun Day. Think about that. This April the 1st, National April Fool's Fun Day. Tuesday, April the 2nd, is National Reconciliation Day. Now, if you don't know what reconciliation is, or you don't know not what it is to reconcile or reconcile, I could tell you, I experienced this today. I experienced the joy of reconciliation myself. I did. Right here. I did. Because in order to have the live TikTok going on at the same time I had to have the Facebook going on, I realized I couldn't do it all off of one computer. It was just asking too much. It was doing it, but it was asking too much of the computer and of me. So I reconciled. I got together with my ex, my old laptop that used to do all of this, but I reconciled with my old laptop, my ex laptop. And I opened it up. And of course the battery was dead. Of course. You're going back and you're visiting old. When you reconcile with an ex, what you're doing is you're going back and remembering what all the things were that made that an ex. This is true. And you can make this leap as far as you want to go. Okay? I went back, I reconciled with my ex. I started the X up. The first thing I find out, the battery's dead. The next thing I find out, it takes absolutely forever to load. I had the computer for a very long time, but everything about it is annoying the bejesus out of me. This won't work, and this won't work, and this is taking forever, and this is taking forever. I reconciled with the X only to remember why it is an X. So it can be cathartic, right? Think about it. Maybe you need to reconcile. On Thursday, April 2nd, National Reconciliation Day. Friday, April the 3rd, is National Chocolate Mousse Day. You would think I would know better. You would think I would know. If I remember, isn't mousse just a hair product that makes it stand up instead of pat down? No. Isn't mousse just a lighter, fluffier pudding? If I had the pudding pop, if I had a bowl of pudding and I had a bowl of mousse, wouldn't they have the exact same ingredients? But this one was like roughed up a little longer, so it's lighter on its toes, and this one is just dumb and dense. Dense. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I know I'll never turn either one away. You're not, within reason, with a respectable amount of portions and repetitions. I believe, and I could be wrong, that chocolate mousse is just chocolate pudding, but it's whipped more. It's made to be lighter, and it's fancier because it's mousse. Not mousse. It's mousse. Chocolat. Mousse chocolat. Do they make other? I never heard of like a vanilla mousse. strawberry mousse, Neapolitan mousse. Never heard of any of those. So, chocolate seems to be the winner. Again. Chocolate covered bacon, baby. Think about that and do with that knowledge what you will. On Friday, April the 3rd, National Chocolat Mousse Chocolat Day. On Saturday, April the 4th, is National Vitamin C Day. Vitamin C is very, very important to the human body. You need the citruses. You need some vitamin C's in your system. It's going to keep you healthy, make you live longer, like 25% longer with no known side effects. Don't take my word for it. Google it. And the most wonderful thing that we learned about vitamin C over the years is it prevents scurvy. That's correct. You don't see sailors getting scurvy these days because we give them things that have vitamin C in them. One of the greatest things that had vitamin C in it ever in all time ever? Grog. Old-time sailors had an issue with scurvy. And they found out that if you consumed vitamin C, you wouldn't get the scurvies. So what did they do? They learned that lime is loaded with vitamin C. So they would use the lime in the rum that they drink. They were flavoring their rum with lime juice. And that's how British sailors were called limeys. But American sailors also didn't want the scurvy, but they didn't want the disgusting title of being called a limey. So what did they do? They used lemons and became lemonies. That's not true at all. Mama's lemon pound cake. I love scurvy, and I tell you why. Because my sailors were getting sick, and I would tell them things like, you're not allowed to get sick, but if you do get sick, you only get sick with the scurvy. And if you got sick with the scurvy, it's because you didn't take enough vitamin C, and I'm putting you on report. 30 lashes. Apparently I was a pirate. Think about that and more. Saturday, April the 4th. National Vitamin C Day. Sunday, April the 5th, is National Read a Roadmap Day. Now I say, road maps don't exist anymore. I'm sure all of your gas stations still have a rack somewhere near them, and inside that rack is a bunch of unfoldable folded paper, unrefoldable folded paper, known as a map. And that, children, is how we used to get around in unknown places. We would go to a store and we'd buy one of the maps of the places that we were going, and then we would open it up. And like sailors in the days without celestial navigation, we just guessed. There was a lot of guessing. We followed ridge lines and rivers and grid coordinates. But you got this giant piece of paper out and you looked at the things that you're supposed to look at and you tried to remember the things you were going to do. Oh, I'm going to take 77 over to 22 and then 22 down to 159. And once I get to 159, it's a short stretch of 61 straight over. That's what you did. That's what you did. You put that in your mind and then you went to like 77, but instead of 22, you're at like 32. And you're like, nothing is right. Something is wrong. And you stopped and you got out and you unfolded the map on top of the hood. You look very tactical, very, very tactical. You unfold the map on top of the hood and you're 10 clicks back. No one uses clicks, but in this scenario we did. 10 clicks back, I should have made the left-hand turn at Albuquerque. That's another reference most of you are probably not going to get. Anyway, and then once you had your coordinates, you had to fold the map back up together. And GPS, Google Maps, and Waze have all made reading a roadmap unnecessito, no longer necessary, along with all of the other celestial satellite navigation capabilities that are out there for you. No one reads a map anymore. No one knows how to read a map anymore. So, when the invasion begins and the first thing they do is take down the internet, realize, siamo fatuti. And there is one of you watching right now, at least one of you watching right now, who got an extra laugh off of that ending. Think about that on Sunday, April the 5th, National Read a Roadmap Day.